Look at what we have here, a Milwaukee multi-tool, 18-volt one. I love these things. I've got a corded one, a Bosch one that I've had for about 17 or 18 years. Never needed one until I got one. And then when I got one, I'd never be without one. These things vibrate like this with a blade on, like that, zzz, sideways. They're brilliant for cutting out back boxes in plasterboard, if you need to get into a floorboard along the very edge of maybe where a skirting goes, or if you need to cut something into a bit of wood where there's no room. If I can get this working, it'd be quite nice to have a cordless version of one. Now, good news is it appears that the brain's working, because when I turn it on, the light comes on, then when I turn it off, the light will go off in about 15 seconds. So it looks like it's going to be an issue with more the motor side of things, because we know the switch is working and it looks like the brain's working, because look, that's gone out now. When I turn it on again and turn it off again, it will go out. So I don't think it's going to be anything too major, but maybe the motor itself might be all faulty. I might not be able to get it working, but let's see if somebody who's never worked on one of these before can fix it. Wish me luck. Now, if I can get it working, I will have to get the little screw that goes in here. And the idea is, it's like just you do it hand tight. So you do this, you put your blade in, whichever angle you want, and then do up the screw hand tight. It's like a little thumb screw, and then you push this like that to lock it into place. So let's undo the screws that we can see around the place. So it looks like there's two little ones here, and the rest all look pretty big. So that looks like a Torx 8, and the rest look like a Torx 10. They're different there. Maybe these are the Torx 8 as well. Yeah, these are Torx 8 as well here. This is M18 BMT. Milwaukee normally make very good tools. Expensive though. I bought this one 40 on eBay a long time ago. I would have overpaid, like you always do, in the desperate need for content. Problem is when you buy off eBay, not always, but often it's already been looked at by a professional and deemed unfixable, and then the customer said it will as untested. That's the LED there. I'm going to put some gloves on because it looks all a bit greasy. So if customers are giving you things to fix, it's always much more likely you're going to fix it than when, in my opinion, than when you buy off eBay. And this looks like a Torx 15. Right, now let's see how this comes apart. That came apart nicely. Oh, there we go. So that is, is that a ball bearing? No, I think it's just a lump of grease. Well, it moves nice like that. I wonder, does it just do that then? Yeah, maybe it does. Okay, full of grease, and the grease actually still looks quite clean, which is a bit of a miracle. Maybe it hasn't had a huge amount of use. So these are all the ball bearings here. Right, okay. Just going to get a paper towel. Now let's try to get this apart. We are in. Right, okay, so rubber goes on there. Yeah, pretty clean. So we know the switch is working. Is there power getting up to here? I wonder, is this turning? Yes, that looks like it's turning. Oh, and it oscillates like that. Look, can you see? So, why are you not working? We need to see if power's getting up to here. I don't want it just to suddenly start going though. Oh, has it been worn through just here? Oh, this is like all potted, annoyingly. So if there's a problem in there, that ain't going to be getting fixed. Let's undo this. I think we're back to the Torx 10. It looks like the blue wire is almost worn right the way through. because there's going to be a lot of vibration on this tool. So maybe if the wires are against a plastic post, it might not take that much to wear through over the months and years. And also the red one, look there as well. It's down to the copper. Right, we're out there. Let's take out the light. Right, I'm going to make a little bit of room for myself. Right, let's see if that's gone through there. No, it hasn't. It's just on the very, it's just taken off the sheath there, and also just here as well. So it's all done in here like this to help with the vibration. So we're going to have to get our meter onto here and see if we have 18 volts on the motor. I think it might be a problem in here, unfortunately. Right, so go to volts DC. Let's plug this in. So that's going to go in this way. Let me just make sure it's not going to go crazy. I'm just going to hold this in case it suddenly starts working. Right, lights on. Okay, so let me get set up. So I can go here and here, I think, without shorting anything out. I think so. Right, here we go. Turn on. No voltage. There's no voltage getting to the motor. Why? Oh no. Yet we know voltage is getting in there, so it has to be in here, no? And if it is in there, it's not going to be fixable because this is like a potting compound. It's rock hard. If you had to scrape all that out, you're probably going to take half the components on the circuit board in there with it. Make sure there's no loose wires. We know the switch is working. Ah, that's disastrous. So I can prod in here, and that will eliminate the wire just in case it has fractured there. But if we don't have anything in here, when I do this, then I think we can say that it's not going to be fixable. Turn on. So it should be working now. Yes! Yes! 19 volts! Amazing! Fantastic! 19 volts. Right, let's kill power from this. I think it's going to be fixable. The sponsor of today's video is PCB Way. It's very purple in here. Do you like purple circuit boards? They're usually more expensive, but not this September. PCB Way are offering purple solder masks without any extra cost. Yippee! But that's not all they're offering in the month of September. What else is PCB Way offering? They're offering discounts on flexible TPU. Vince, what is flexible TPU? Flexible TPU is a 3D printing material, and it's known for its rubber-like elasticity, but yet it's tough and also durable. So it's like a hard plastic, but you've got the flexibility of rubber. And PCB Way in September have discounts. The higher the weight, the more you save. So you can save all the way up to 80% off. Now, if any of this interests you, check out the link in the description down below. Now, let's get back to the video. So we got 19 volts here, but not here. So where has it gone? So let's go to continuity. And we're going to go here and here. And we have continuity. So now let's go on the blue one here and here. And we don't have continuity. Right, so let's jab halfway. We got continuity. So has it gone just here? Maybe it has. Zoom right the way in. So it doesn't look like it's been apart or messed with. So really that's a little bit of a manufacturing defect then, if that's so close to a post that it's vibrated through. So what we'll do is let's jab either side of this. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, let me go onto the original hole that I just did here. I'm just going to jab in here again. And now let's move to just before it and see if we have continuity. It's a good thing about having really sharp probes. Right, so we've got it here. So we've got it here, but we haven't got it here. We have got it here now. Let's try that again. So we're on now. have 19 volts there going into the motor and nothing's happening. I don't think I measured it properly first time. Nothing happening. Got my hopes up, but I just don't think I've measured it properly on these probes here. Right, okay. So, motor, are you bad? It looks that way. Do you reckon the brushes have gone on it? Can you even get to it? I think if I was to try to get pliers and take these little bits off, I might be able to take the back off, and then we can have a look at I think the brushes have gone, but I don't think they're replaceable. I think it's one of these things where you just have to replace the motor. I think I'm going to have to get a hammer and a screwdriver and try to pinch this round. It's weird because we've got these little springs that look like they're clipped around the edge here. And then I think they're soldered on or spot welded on. The tool doesn't look old enough to have the brushes completely worn away. Even if I get that back off, this thing here isn't coming off. Making a right mess of this. It's I don't think you can really repair these. The back's not coming off very easy at all. I think it's just a case of finding out why it's not working. See, it could be just because there's voltage there. It might be something in here where there's not enough current being put through. There we go. Now, is there any way of taking this off here? Yes, there is. Whoa. Oh, I've got to find that now. Yeah, you got it. Now that's actually magnetic, I think. I hope I haven't broken that now. There's a bit of a crack going around there. Right, let's have a look in here now. It's gone back on. There we go. We're in. We're in now. Oh yeah. The brush is completely gone. Oh, that's a shame. Right, let me just clean this up and then I can show you. It needs a new motor. Right, I'm going to zoom right the way in. And you'll see one brush is nice. So look at this one here. You can see there, this is where the blue wire goes to. And it goes onto here and we have this kind of carbon brush which is seated nicely on this commutator, I don't know, armature, I always get it mixed up. But then have a look at this side here, the red wire, it's completely missing. And it's just been sparking there. So it would have kept working for a little bit while that was sparking. It's such a shame. And if I had it, I might be able to glue it back on. But I haven't got one. Do you know what? The glue would probably just wear away with the heat anyway. So yeah, that's why it's not working. In fact, you can see it would have worked for a bit, because look at the hole here, and we have the copper going right the way to here. The hole here, the copper's all gone. So it would have probably been working, but really noisy. And probably quite a lot of sparks. Ah, what a shame. Now obviously it needs a new motor. I'm just wondering if there's any way that I could pinch a carbon brush off something else that I could kind of maybe bodge onto here. Oh, do it, Vince, please do it, be big V. Just to get it working for the video. Also, I'm going to type in this here to see if it's cheaper just to maybe get a generic motor. Oh, mind you, no, we need all the gearbox and stuff attached to it. I think it's going to be too hard to fit that on here. Looks like it's all going to be maybe pressed. And this, is it screwed in here? Don't think so. No. Well, when I type in this motor number just here, then it is coming up, but it doesn't come with any of this front bit here. I haven't seen a UK one yet, but it's 35 euros. Might not be available in the UK though, because this tool would be getting old now, because they'd be brushless motors now, you see, the newer ones. Also at that sort of price there, then I'm not sure, it might be cheaper to get a working second-hand tool off eBay, and then you've got everything else as spares as well. Right, so I've just placed the motor in Marcel's vise, and I have got this here. It is the wrong shape. Basically, I'm only doing this, imagine kind of like an end of the world type stuff, impossible to get spares. Is there a way you can bodge it? We all know it needs a new motor, but for me, if I can just get it working for the end of the video, that'd be quite nice. And you never know if I could get that somehow attached, because there's quite a lot of life on that. Because I have got the wire on it as well. Maybe I could wrap the wire through that hole and solder this onto there. I'm wondering whether or not I would be able to... I wonder whether or not it would work. Obviously, I'd never sell it, but it'd be quite nice to have a cordless one myself. Problem is, there's very little room to work. I wonder, is it possible to take out the whole plastic or not? I don't want to damage the bearing. Oh, here we go. Oh, I don't have to take the bearing out, do I? If I could take this out, I might actually be able to do a repair which may last. Come on. Probably end up breaking the other one now. Come on. Right, why won't you come out there? Let's wiggle that off. How important? Oh, it's got capacitors. So I need to, okay. They need to be put back on. Right, okay, this is really, really good. So this is much easier to work on now. You can see how it should be. So there's little capacitors here, just must be to allow it to start smoothly, perhaps. So that goes there, you can see that's perfect. Isn't it weird that one just disintegrated? So this is going to be forced right the way back here now. So if I pull that tight there, and if I could get that there, they're not going to be perfectly opposite each other. Get that at the edge. Do you know what I mean? If I could somehow get that to glue on there. I wonder, would JB Weld hold the temperature that it needs? Or I wonder if I was to use the Dremel and cut down here to encapsulate it in a bit more. Can you see? Because the outer bits look, the outer bits kind of look the right length. You know what I mean? If I drill down, if I go down here and here, would that make it hold better? Really, if I was to cut it and bend it up, it would be better. Let's see if it will cut. No, let's try it with this. No, I'm just kind of bending it. Oh, there we go. I think I cut it there. Whoops. Right, I probably cut that too much. Now let's bend that up. Right, so you can see what I've done there. I've pulled it through the hole. I've kind of pressed the copper down a bit. And now I'm going to try to solder it, and then maybe after I solder it I might be able to glue it. I presume solder is going to be good enough to hold it into position, as in temperature wise. I don't know what temperature this will get up to. Anyway, let's flood it with solder and then see if that gives it any strength. Now I presume the solder is not going to stick to the carbon brush at all, but it should stick to that copper thing. Now let's try to put a load of flux. It's all a bit dirty, but hopefully if I put flux everywhere, we could play that game that we played on the Advent challenge. How long is it going to last? I think that one only lasted about 15 seconds before it failed on the last motor that I tried to fix. Right, here we go. So get a load of heat into it. Just going to keep holding it there. Solder's a bit thin, I kind of need thicker solder. I want to flood the whole area, you see. Well, I can see it's all, I think it's all gone underneath. Really, we need to put it the other way now and try to get it sticking to the back. Let gravity take it down there, you see. Let's try that. Bad shakes today. Oh wow, that's really flooded down there. That's good. Can you see it all down here? Look at it, all molten. That's good. Might be enough. Wait till it goes off. There we go. Right, now, I wonder, because it's only got a rest against it. See, I think, well, first of all, let's make sure we've got connectivity. And maybe I could put some JB Weld in there, because I'm pretty sure I've got some high temperature stuff. I bought a load of JB Weld again on the Advent challenge. I love the stuff. I've never used a high temperature, I've only used a plastic bonder. Right, so now, if we were to, well, these are touching, so we should now have a short between here and here. Which we do. So there's definitely continuity. Well, let's go on to this one. Let's see if, there you go. And that's on the other side. So that's through the carbon brushes. So it's definitely electrically okay. I'm just wondering, will the heat melt that solder straight away? They've used some sort of potting compound type stuff here. Can you see all around here? Right, let me see if I've got high temperature stuff. And if I can flood this area here, because I've made the contact electrically, if I can flood this area, then if this can stick to this, you never know, it might be a lasting fix. And as far as when it's like that, they're nearly opposite each other. Right, well, I've got this steel stick here, but look, it only goes up to 149 degrees Celsius. And this one here goes up to 288 degrees Celsius. Let me just check what leaded solder is. I think leaded solder might be higher than both of them. Oh, okay. No, I thought it was higher than that. 188 degrees Celsius. So I might try this stuff. I might give that a go. Now apparently motor brushes, AI, says that they will be a range of 65 to 70 degrees Celsius. So hopefully that's correct. Obviously this might be all over the place, especially to begin with until it beds in, because you can see this has a nice curve on it, this one here, but my one's not going to have a curve on it because it's too thin, and also it will take time. Do you know what I'm wondering now? I wonder whether it will snap straight away because it's not wide. I wonder will it just flick off. Probably shouldn't waste too much time on it. Now, this is obviously better because it goes up to higher temperature, but I've got a feeling that this is going to be more like putty. I've never used it, but this for sure is more liquid. And I want it to be liquid to get into all the nooks and crannies. The solder is the thing that's going to melt last. I just want this to kind of get into the nooks and crannies and give it a little bit more strength. But now thinking about it, I'm thinking that with the startup of the motor, it might just, until it kind of beds in, maybe I'll have to turn it by hand for a bit or just do it at very low power, because I think if you went on full speed, I think that's just going to knock straight off. Unless, of course, I bend it. Maybe I have to bend it quite a bit up this way, so it's only just making contact. But that's easier said than done. Anyway, this stuff here, I can't see on the packet what temperature it is, but if I use Google again, it says here, Epoxy Gorilla. I don't know if this is the stuff, but once it's cured, 82 degrees Celsius, which is over the temperature of the brushes. So I'm just going to mix this because I know it sets nice and quick, and I know it's more liquid. Because I think the other stuff will just sit on top. I want it to get into all the nooks and crannies. So I mix it all up, obviously mixing too much, as everyone always does, and then I let it drip all into the bits because it's nice and liquid, so it does really get deep into it. And I try to build it up quite a bit around the brush to try to get it to give it some sort of strength between the carbon brush and also the copper bits sticking out. A lot of this I think is going to depend on which way it rotates. If it rotates towards the broken copper, then I think it will be alright. It's going to be forcing itself against all the epoxy, and when it goes hard, epoxy really does go hard. So while I'm doing this, I will shout out My Mate Vince Massive. The Massive members this month are Keemon Services, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokotansky, and Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Russ Melanson, Rickard Bergland, Shamsa Al-Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past over on YouTube, Lee Benz, AJ Computer Services UK, and David Delay. So as always, a massive thanks to everybody that supports over on Patreon. So I've glued this up now. I have to leave it quite a while, and then once I come back to it in about 20 minutes or so, I'm just going to show you that now that it's near enough set, we have the arduous task of trying to get it all back together. Okay, there you have it. That is my creation there. So I'm feeling this, and it doesn't really want to go. Let me see now. That's going to halfway, and there's not a lot of pressure there. Let me feel this one. There's much more pressure on that. So really, I'm going to have to try to bend this up from here, because otherwise, it's just going to put it under unnecessary pressure and have even more chance of breaking. Hope it doesn't snap now. I want to bend it up from the corner. Oh man, the glue still isn't dry. It's been about 20 minutes, what's going on? I just assumed it'd be dry. Now, hold on, have I now done that too much? No, I think that will probably be okay, because the middle of the motor is very big. I'll say that will probably be alright. Right, I'm going to start putting it back together, and then it's going to take me quite a while because I've got to knock all the metal bits in, get it all lined up. Hopefully by then that will have dried. So I reassemble the motor the best I can, and I try to re-crimp down the edges by using my pliers and screwdriver, works just as well as a hammer, and I solder up the capacitors that go around onto the edge. And then I have to get this weird magnet back on, the magnet that I nearly broke when I took off by ramming the pliers underneath it and levering it up. And then this happens. I do try to put the magnet back on by hitting the brass in the middle, not the magnet, because I know the magnets are very brittle. So I tried hammering down using my pliers and a wider screwdriver onto the brass bit in the middle, but it wasn't happy. Oh no, I knew that was going to happen. That magnet's now broken. Knew that was going to happen. Oh no, I hope that's not like game over for this. Don't actually know what that's for. I presume it's to line it up in the case. Right, okay, let's put this on. Let's see if we can actually get the motor moving. I think that magnet now might have, all that hard work that I've done might have gone to waste because of that magnet, but I couldn't get the magnet on. It's on really tight. Right, let's see now. Are you going to do anything at all? I better clamp it, because otherwise it might go flying. Hopefully that won't have enough torque to come out and hit me in the head, and hopefully it's not going to short and blow up the battery. I could use my bench power supply, but I'm going to use this because it needs to read the other pins on the battery as well, I think. So let's just plug it in for a second and see if it's going to make any weird bangs or noises. Here we go, just for a second. Nothing. Should I try it? I'm worried about my face. Hold on a minute. Let me just... Oh, did you see that? Look at that. Wow. Let's see if the speed controller works. Let's put it down low. No way. It doesn't sound too rough. What? Crazy. Right, let's try to get it back in its home and let's see what purpose this magnet has. So at the time of filming, I thought that the magnet had something to do with speed control. Well, initially, I thought it was going to sit in the plastic housing of the tool and maybe stop it from vibrating or seat the motor into place, acting as a bit of a bearing or something. But it's on that shaft so good that I then convinced myself it was something to do with speed control. But I clearly seen on that part of the video, we do have speed control. But yet the speed control only seems to maybe be between 2 and 6. It doesn't seem to ramp up any more when it goes up to 12. It seems to work for the first bit, but not the bit after that. So in my mind, I'm thinking the magnet, because it's sited so close to the speed controller, is somehow giving the speed controller some sort of feedback of what the motor's doing. But I have zero idea. Anyway, I will glue the magnet back together, but I don't think that's going to work, is it? Because I think once you break a magnet, does it not then have a north-south pole again? So for example, like as a round magnet, part of it's going to be north and part of it's going to be south. If I break that into two, won't we then double up on the norths and souths? I think so, but I'm not too sure. Please tell me in the comment section, what is the purpose of this magnet here? Anyway, what I do want to show you is, I want to show you the sparks that's being generated, because this motor, in my opinion, I'm going to be biased, but I think it's working a lot better than I thought it would. So have a look here at the sparks that it's generating, bearing in mind it hasn't been bed in yet. Lower it right down. Yeah, there's some nice sparks, but it's not crazy. Remember, it's going to take a while to bed in. Right, look in here. Well, I think we're going to get longer than 30 seconds out of it. So it was nice to see some sparks on the channel. So I have to put it all back into the housing and do up all the screws. It's all straightforward enough. I've glued that magnet in place. Not going to make any difference, I don't think. And yeah, now I just have to test it. But I haven't got the little thumb screw that holds the blades in. I'm sure you will be able to buy them, but just for the moment I'm just getting a long machine screw, Allen key one, and I am a hex key, and I'm just going to use my Dremel tool, the Having Fun Repairs Dremel tool, and I'm just cutting through it to make it the right length. Once I've done all that, I can finally actually get to do some cutting. So let's cut to the video now when it's all back together. I've got a piece of old mouldy thick plywood from the garden, and I'm going to try to cut a bit of that. Let's see if this tool is actually strong enough. We know the motor's spinning, but is it strong enough to actually cut some wood? Let's find out. Right, so let's say we want to cut out that. Yeah. Now that would be a little bit hard to do, wouldn't it, with a saw? Little coping saw, no bother. Hope I don't cut into my mat now. Now obviously I don't know if this motor's going to last. Don't you love the smell of wood? I love the smell of burnt wood. Right, now obviously I did it a little bit too small there because the blade is the blade vibrates that much, so I'm not going to get a neat cut there. But imagine if that was a little bit bigger to here. Can you see how it's not a bad cut, really, considering I was just doing it on camera and by hand? So and the good thing as well is it doesn't take up, it doesn't, if you need to reuse something, let me get that piece of wood, I don't know where it fell to. Here we go. It doesn't take away masses of wood. You can put that back up on it, you see, and fill those, and it doesn't, see what I mean? It doesn't take away a huge amount of wood. I absolutely love them. Now, obviously, I know people are going to be like, it's a bodge. Yes, it's a bodge. It needs a new motor. But I think fixing something like that is more interesting than just getting a motor and soldering it in place. Even though soldering it in place would make this tool pretty much perfect. As it is now, I don't know if it's going to last another 2 minutes or whether it will actually give me service for a bit. But I'm going to keep this for myself. Obviously, I wouldn't be getting rid of it. And yeah, I may use it instead of the Bosch tool if I need something cordless. If I wanted to do something up on a roof or something like that, a flat roof, then I might not want to bring an extension lead up there with power. I might just bring this up there. So it might come in handy in the future. I love that little repair there, and I think those bushes that bush may last a little while. If you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you all again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello, I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. I stand alone. Show me where the ending